Hello, fifth graders. So we're kind of halfway through our topic 8 right now. And the beginning of the topic was all about multiplying whole numbers by fractions and how to model that and vice versa. And then the last lesson we got into how to model multiplying two fractions. Now, what we're going to be doing today is talking about just how we are going to multiply two fractions, okay? Now, this should be fairly, almost seem like a review to you, because if you felt pretty comfortable with multiplying a whole number by a fraction, multiplying a fraction by a fraction is really not going to be too far off. So let's look at this example. It says, on Sam's phone, 2/3 of the songs are rock genre. Out of the songs that are rock, 4/5 of them are alternative rock. What fraction of the songs on Sam's phone are alternative rock? So 2/3 are rock. Out of the ones that are rock, 4/5 of them are alternative rock. Okay, so we're taking 4/5 of 2/3. Okay, and we learned that the word of simply just stands for multiplication. 4/5 times 2/3. Okay, and what we can do with that now, it's basically just like when we had a whole number and we put it over a 1. Okay, you just multiply straight across. So 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 3 is 15. And then you always want to see, can I simplify it? Is it improper? Can it be simplified by dividing by anything? In this case, 8/15 cannot be simplified any further. So it's just 8/15 songs, or 8/15 of the songs. Okay, so in this problem, we couldn't pre-simplify it all, because if we look this way, nothing goes into 4 or 3, and this way, 5 or 2 cannot be divided by anything besides 1. Okay, but we will have a chance to pre-simplify in these next few examples. Okay, now this is what's pretty cool about multiplying two fractions. When we were just multiplying a whole number times a fraction, it was only possible to ever pre-simplify in one direction, because the other direction you were always looking at a 1, and it's impossible to do anything else with that. Okay, well, when we're multiplying two fractions, you can look in both directions now. So let's look at this first problem. It's 4/7 times 7/9. So we could just multiply straight across if we wanted to, okay? But we would have to simplify a lot at the end. So let's see if we can do some pre-simplification first. So look diagonally this way. Can 4 or 9 be divided by any number? And it has to be the same number that both of them can be divided by. Well, the factors of 4 are 2, 2, and 4 and 1. And none of those numbers are divisible and can go into 9. So we can't do anything with 4 and 9. But if we look this way, what can 7 and 7 both be divided by? They can both be divided by 7. So what I want you guys to do when you're watching these, okay, take the red sticks and just put them over the numbers that you're crossing out. Okay, so in this case, I'd cross out the 7 and the 7. And then type in the new number that it is. So 7 divided by 7 gives you 1. 7 divided by 7 gives you 1. So now our new fraction is just 4 over 1 times 1/9. So we can multiply across and get 4, multiply across and get 9. And that is our final answer. And look how much easier that is than trying to figure out how to simplify 28/63. Okay, so let's look at this next one. Look diagonally this way. Okay, can 6 or 8 be divided by any number? Do they have any common factors? Yes, they do. They're both even, so that means they can both be divided by 2, okay? And you have to also think, is that the greatest common factor? Well, factors of 6 are just 3, 2, 6, and 1. And the only other one they share with 8 is 2. So 2 is the greatest common factor. So we can divide the 6 and 8 by 2. So drag over that slash and put it over the 6 and the 8. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So now our problem is 3 times 3, which is 9. And 7 times 4, which is 28. Okay, and you can see if you can simplify that even further, but you cannot. So 9/28 is the simplest version of that fraction. Okay, let's look at this next one. Okay, and let me just skip back to this one really quick. I didn't even look at 7 or 3, but they do not have any common factors, so we can't do anything with that. Okay, this next one, half times 1 8/9. If we look at the 1 and the 9, okay, again, 1 and 9 cannot be divided by anything except for 1, which doesn't change it. So if we look this way, 2 and 8, do they have any common factors? Can they both be divided by anything? Yes, they can both be divided by 2 because they're both even. So cross both of those out. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So now we have 1 over 1 times 4/9, which is just 4/9. And that is the simplest version. And hey, look at that. We got the same answer for both of those. All right. And again, when you pre-simplify, boys and girls, there's less of a chance that you will have to simplify the fraction at the end. So if you look at all of these examples, we did not even have to simplify at the end because we did pre-simplification. So our last problem is 4/5 times 5/12. So let's look this way. I always look this direction first. 4 and 12. Can either of those be divided by the same number? Do they have any common factors? They do, okay? Factors of 4 are 1, 4, and 2. Okay, so 1, 2, and 4 are factors of 4. Factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Okay, all those numbers multiply to get to 12. All of these numbers multiply to get to 4. They have 3 common factors, 1, 2, and 4. So we want to choose the greatest one, which is 4. So both 4 and 12 can be divided by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Now, let's look in this direction. Okay, you always want to look in both directions because why not? 5 and 5. Oh, look, they're the same number. So if they are the same number, just like this example up here, you can divide both of the numbers by itself. Okay, so 5 divided by 5 is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. And look at that example. We actually pre-simplified in both directions. So we double pre-simplified. So our fraction is now just 1 over 1 times 1/3, which is 1/3. Okay? And again, we do not have to simplify 1/3 at all. All right? Now, for that example, let's say you didn't want to pre-simplify. Okay? And you just did 4 times 5 and 5 times 12. You would have gotten 20/60, which is fine, but you would have to simplify 20/60 to end up getting 1/3. So by pre-simplifying, once you get your final answer, if you did the pre-simplification correctly, you will not have to simplify any further. All right, so if you're like, I understand pre-simplification, I get it, I want to keep using it, awesome. If you're like, you know what, I'm just going to stick with multiplying across and trying to simplify at the end, that's fine as well. But I'm showing you this method because it does make life a lot easier. When you finish a problem, you don't have to simplify at the end. All right, so what you guys are going to do is you are going to complete these next 4 problems in your notes. All right, so again, use the notes that we just completed as an example. If you have any questions, you can email me And you're just going to complete these and see how you feel. All right? Have a wonderful day, 5th grade. Bye.